Welcome to Where Technology Meets Business, Insights into Managing Information Systems. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive, really getting into a crucial topic for any aspiring business leader, especially you, our Dr. Sam Pack College of Business graduate students. We're talking about enhancing decision-making. Think of this as, your essential guide, sort of a foundational chapter. It's really designed to help you navigate the complexities of today's, very data-rich business world. So whether you're prepping for a big presentation or diving into a new strategic role, or maybe you're just curious about leveraging information, this deep dive, it aims to give you a powerful shortcut to being exceptionally well-informed.
That's right. And it's so relevant because the modern business marketplace is just, undeniably data-driven now. As one of our sources points out, data's main role is really to empower leaders, to help them make decisions grounded in facts and trends, quantifiable metrics.
Makes sense.
But the sheer volume of information out there today, that presents a huge challenge, doesn't it? It's about sifting through all that noise to get the right information, the kind that enables the best possible strategic choices.
That's a really powerful point about data's role. And, when you think about it, we're all just swimming in decisions every single day, both personally and professionally.
Constantly.
And our sources emphasize that even a tiny improvement, just a fractional improvement in these decisions, if it comes from better information, better processes, the benefits could be enormous.
Absolutely.
For businesses, this isn't just theory, right? Mm-hmm. It translates directly to things like happier customers, a more engaged workforce, smoother operations, and ultimately, significantly improved profitability.
And what's truly fascinating here is the quantifiable dollar value, the actual money that enhanced decision-making can bring to firms. Our source, Lawden & Lawden, gives some compelling examples. And it's really vital not to think this value is just stuck at the top, in the C-suite, because organizational structures, they keep flattening out.
Right.
Decision-making authority gets pushed down increasingly to lower levels. So this means smarter decisions at every single level directly contribute to a tangible increase in overall business value, from front lines right up to the boardroom.
Okay, so if better decisions are worth so much, what does that mean for the types of decisions we actually encounter day to day? Our source generally classifies them into three key categories.
Okay.
First, we have unstructured decisions. These are the non-routine ones, right? Often unprecedented situations needing real judgment, evaluation, deep insight.
Exactly. That's typically the domain of senior management. They handle the really ambiguous stuff.
Then you've got structured decisions. These are, the opposite. Repetitive, routine. They come with established procedures.
You often find these at the operational levels. Think order entry, inventory control.
And finally, semi-structured decisions, as the name kind of suggests.
A mix of both.
Yeah, a hybrid, often made by middle managers. They blend elements of routine stuff and novel challenges.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you can see how these decision types align almost perfectly with specific management levels and also with their distinct information requirements.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about it. Senior management, they're grappling with long-term strategic goals. They're constantly influenced by these big external shifts in the industry, in society, unstructured problems.
Right.
Middle management project teams, they're more focused on resource allocation, department-level plans, shorter range stuff, more semi-structured.
Okay.
Operational management, their teams handle the daily grind resources, schedules, personnel for specific projects. Very structured usually. And critically, individual employees make decisions impacting vendors, coworkers, and maybe most importantly, the customer experience directly.
So understanding that alignment is key for picking the right tools.
Exactly.
Okay, so regardless of the type or the level, making any decision effectively, it requires a systematic process, doesn't it?
It does.
Our sources kind of boil this down to 4 crucial steps. First, there's intelligence. This is all about discovering, identifying, and really understanding the problem itself.
What's actually going on?
Second, we move to design. Here, you identify and explore a range of potential solutions, brainstorming options.
Exploring the possibilities.
Third comes choice. This is the critical point where you select the best alternative from those solutions you designed.
Making the call.
And finally, implementation. Putting that chosen alternative into action and then, crucially, monitoring its effectiveness. Did it work?
Yeah, follow through and feedback. And it's really crucial to remember these 4 steps, they aren't always this neat linear progression.
Right. Life isn't usually that tidy.
In the real world, they can be concurrent, you might loop back, they can be iterative, repetitive even. Managers might cycle back and forth. The core takeaway here, I think, is that everyone at every level of an organization is a decision maker. The strategic goal then becomes effectively matching these organizational levels and decision types with the right kind of decision support system.
Okay.
Information systems, they're incredibly powerful co-pilots in this journey, but they assist in the process. They don't replace the human element, the judgment.
They're tools, not the final answer.
Precisely.
So information systems have definitely revolutionized decision-making, but they're not, as our source puts it, a magical holy grail.
No, definitely not.
To really understand their role, we need to look at the realities of managerial work. The classical model of management, it traditionally outlines 5 functions: planning, organizing, coordinating, deciding, and controlling. Sounds pretty straightforward.
It does on paper, but behavioral models, they dissect the actual day-to-day activities of managers, and they reveal a much more, nuanced and often kind of chaotic reality. Well, managers operate at an unrelenting pace. Their work is highly fragmented, jumping between tasks. They constantly prefer current, specific, often ad hoc informations like what's happening right now. They rely heavily on oral communication, talking to people, and they maintain these incredibly diverse and complex webs of contacts inside and outside the organization. So this raises a really important question for you as graduate students preparing for leadership roles. How exactly do information systems effectively support this dynamic, sometimes unpredictable reality?
That's a great question, because it's clearly not always about neatly organized static reports. Our sources categorize these real-world activities into 3 key managerial roles. First, interpersonal roles where managers act as figureheads, leaders, liaisons.
The people side.
Second, informational roles. Here they serve as nerve centers, disseminators of information, spokespersons.
Handling the data flow.
And third, decisional roles. This involves acting as entrepreneurs, handling disturbances, allocating critical resources, negotiating conflicts.
Making things happen, solving problems.
Interestingly, information systems, they can support many, but definitely not all, of these complex human behaviors.
Right. Some things still require that human touch, that intuition. Okay. Now, let's talk about why even the most well-intentioned decision-making process can just, blow up without a moment's notice in the real world. Our source highlights 3 critical reasons for this.
Right.
First, information quality. This is huge. Was the information accurate, consistent, complete? Valid, timely, accessible, high integrity.
A lot of requirements there.
Yeah, think about a logistics manager trying to optimize shipping routes using outdated traffic data. That leads to massive delays, costs. The data might be there, but if it's wrong or old, the decision is flawed from the start.
Garbage in, garbage out, essentially.
Exactly. Second big reason, management filters. Every single person processes information through their own personal filters. Experiences, biases, subconscious stuff.
Yeah.
A product manager might reject an innovative new material just because something vaguely similar caused problems 10 years ago. Even if the tech is vastly improved now, that ingrained bias can just negate objective facts and data. It really hinders optimal choices.
Yeah, they tried that before mentality.
Precisely. And third, organizational inertia and politics. People naturally resist change, right? Especially if they think they might lose something.
Oh, yeah. Turf wars.
If streamlining a process means reassigning roles, maybe some managers might quietly obstruct the decision-making process just to preserve their existing teams or their power structures. And valuable initiatives just stall indefinitely. Nothing gets done.
Frustrating, but real. Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The rise of high-velocity automated decision-making.
The speed is incredible.
Think about supply chain systems rerouting inventory instantly during a disruption, or trading algorithms executing millions of transactions in milliseconds. What used to take humans days or weeks, or maybe it was just impossible,
Now happens in seconds.
humans simply can't match a computer's speed, and often its accuracy, for certain very specific kinds of decisions.
For those routine, highly structured decisions, yeah. Computer programmers, they essentially apply that same 4-step decision-making process we talked about. Intelligence, design, choice, implementation. They use it to create the algorithms that power these lightning-fast automated decisions.
So the logic is similar, just executed by code.
Right. For those routine, structured decisions, automating is often ideal because of the computer's characteristics. Precisely defined algorithms, access to huge databases, high-speed processors, optimized software. However, and this is crucial, these systems must still be continuously monitored and regulated by humans.
Oversight is key.
Absolutely. This oversight ensures proper decisions are being made, helps avoid errors. Like, you don't want your AI content engine suggesting a profile of actor Jude Law when you were actually searching for lyrics to the Beatles' Hey Jude.
Haha, right. Context matters.
The bottom line here is that classical and behavioral models inform how managers operate, and information systems need to be designed to dynamically support all these roles to be truly effective.
Okay, moving into even more advanced territory now. How do things like business intelligence, BI, and business analytics, BA, support decision-making?
Good question. These are powerful tool sets. Our sources tell us they provide managers with a really systematic way of making sense of the just vast amounts of data collected. Data on customers, suppliers, employees, the whole external business environment.
It's a lot to process.
It really is. We all collect info and try to understand it, but businesses operate on a scale that's orders of magnitude larger. So, BI, business intelligence, that describes the whole process. How businesses collect, store, clean, and ultimately get useful information out to every level of the organization. It leverages infrastructure like data warehouses, data marts.
Okay, so BI is the infrastructure and process.
Largely, yes. And business analytics, BA, on the other hand, those are the powerful tools and sophisticated techniques used to actually analyze and understand that data in a truly meaningful, actionable way.
Getting insights from the data.
Exactly. It's one thing to know sales are up 10%, that's BI reporting. It's another thing entirely to leverage BA, maybe using regression analysis or predictive modeling, to pinpoint the exact reasons why maybe it's increased marketing to middle-aged women with 2 kids in suburban areas that allows for proactive strategic adjustments. That's analytics.
I see the distinction. That's powerful. And major tech companies, Oracle, SAP, IBM, Microsoft, SaaS, they're the big players here, right?
They are. It's actually the fastest growing segment in the U.S. software market, which clearly shows how hungry businesses are to not just collect data, but to genuinely make sense of it. Building a robust BI environment, it's kind of like constructing a precision-engineered nervous system for your company.
That's a great analogy.
It's not just collecting data, it's connecting every part of the organization to a single real-time pulse of information. This whole environment, it's complex. It encompasses 6 key capabilities.
Okay, what are they?
First, data from the business environment, integrating structured, unstructured data from all sorts of diverse internal and external sources.
Getting it all in one place.
Second, a robust business intelligence infrastructure. The underlying database systems designed to actually process this huge amount of data efficiently.
But plumbing.
Third, a powerful business analytics toolset. The software for analysis, reporting, tracking critical key performance indicators, KPIs.
The analysis engine.
Fourth, intelligent managerial users and methods. Frameworks like business performance management, BPM, or the balanced scorecard. These need strong executive oversight to ensure focus on the right strategic issues.
Guiding the analysis.
Fifth, a flexible delivery platform. Integrating and delivering information from existing systems, MIS, DSS, ESS.
Getting the info out.
Yeah. And finally, sixth, an intuitive user interface. Making complex data visually accessible, actionable on various devices, from desktops to phones.
Making it usable. So the days of those static, outdated reports just sitting in an inbox are pretty much over then.
Thankfully, yes. Modern BI systems fix this with dynamic capabilities.
Like production reports, which are predefined, often industry-specific, generated automatically.
Standard stuff.
Then parameterized reports, using pivot tables maybe to filter and slice data on the fly for specific queries.
More interactive.
Dashboards and scorecards for that immediate visual snapshot of key metrics.
At-a-glance performance.
Ad hoc queries, letting users create their own custom reports for unique questions.
Self-service BI.
Drill-down functionality, letting you go from a high-level summary right down to the specific transaction data underneath.
Peeling back the layers.
And critically, forecasts, scenarios, models, using linear forecasting what-if analysis. Advanced stats to predict future outcomes.
Looking ahead, that's where a lot of the value is, and we're seeing specific applications of analytics just fundamentally transforming how businesses operate now. Take predictive analytics. This helps companies anticipate future behaviors, like assessing customer credit risk, forecasting responses to price changes, predicting the success of new store locations.
Crystal ball stuff almost.
Kind of.
Okay.
Imagine using predictive analytics to drastically cut marketing waste by precisely identifying customers who are highly unlikely to buy from a catalog mailing. Huge savings.
Wow.
Then there's big data analytics. Think about those you might also like. Recommendations on retail websites.
Yeah, they follow you around.
Exactly. They aren't random. They're the direct result of analyzing massive amounts of sales data, often combined with social media trends, all to increase sales by offering hyper-customized recommendations at scale. Operational intelligence and analytics comes in when businesses collect millions of real-time data points from sensors, monitoring devices. This software analyzes big data as they are generated in real time, feeding dynamic dashboards, giving you heads-up displays on ongoing operations. Think predictive maintenance in oil and gas, averting costly failures before they happen.
Real-time adjustments. Very cool.
And finally, location analytics and geographic information systems, or GIS. Executive decisions often lean heavily on geographic data, optimizing shipping routes based on traffic, finding high-traffic areas for new stores.
Location, location, location.
Right. Location analytics pulls insights from that spatial component of data, while GIS uses demographic data, digitized maps to visualize information, allocate resources better, make smarter decisions, like how Land O'Lakes uses it to strategically manage their vast agricultural assets.
Okay, the core takeaway here seems crystal clear. BI and BA systems are absolutely essential today for warehousing, integrating, reporting, and really deeply analyzing data from inside and outside the company. They equip everyone, employees, managers, executives, with a really sophisticated toolkit to make sense of all that data and ultimately to make significantly better, more informed decisions.
That's the goal.
So we started by outlining those decision types, structured, semi-structured, unstructured, at each managerial level. And our sources pointed out that each level has different information needs that match those decision types. How do these various information systems actually align with and fulfill those specific needs?
Good question. Let's connect those dots. For operational and middle management, traditionally, information came mainly from transaction processing systems, the raw data. But increasingly, they rely on management information systems, or MIS, for a broader, more summarized view of company performance. MIS characteristics include supporting those structured and some semi-structured decisions. They provide routine reports, often highlighting exceptions, based on those continuous data flows. They offer a really powerful tool for general organizational control and oversight. How are we doing against the plan?
Keeping things on track. Now, when we get to supporting those more complex, semi-structured, and especially the unstructured decisions, decision support systems, DSS, become really key, don't they?
Absolutely. DSS steps it up a level. They empower executives and managers by combining massive amounts of data, historical, current, internal, external, with sophisticated analytical models and tools.
Or horsepower.
Right. Early DSS had limitations, sure, but today's systems can crunch far more data, way faster, and often through much more user-friendly interfaces.
Easier to use, more powerful.
And DSS is particularly crucial for those complex what-if analyses, using sensitivity analysis models to predict outcomes under different assumptions. What happens if we raise prices by 5%?
Testing scenarios.
Executives today, they don't just rely on gut feelings anymore, or at least they shouldn't. The more comprehensive information they have, the more they can experiment with different outcomes in a kind of safe mode simulation. The better and more confident their decisions will be.
Reduces risk.
Even common spreadsheet software like Excel, with its pivot table functionality, that allows managers to review data in multiple dimensions, decipher complex patterns, and allocate resources much more effectively. That's a form of DSS.
Accessible DSS, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the top level senior management, where decisions are almost never structured, often described as educated guesses in the face of pretty profound uncertainty. We have executive support systems, or ESS.
Right. ESS is tailored for the unique needs of the C-suite. Senior executives rely heavily on external data market trends, competitive intelligence, geopolitical shifts, maybe even more than internal data sometimes, because their decisions have to be made within the context of the broader, often turbulent global environment.
Big picture thinking.
And the problems they face are incredibly fluid. constantly changing. So they need a system that's highly flexible, customizable, easy to manipulate on the fly.
Adaptable.
ESS doesn't spit out ready-made decisions. That's really not its purpose. Instead, it provides the information that empowers executives to make those decisions, combining that data with their own invaluable experience, their knowledge, their deep understanding of the corporation and the business environment.
Augmenting their judgment.
Exactly. And one powerful method often integrated within ESS is the balanced scorecard.
Ah, yes, the balanced scorecard. Heard a lot about that.
It strategically combines traditional internal financial information with three other equally critical perspectives: customers, internal business processes, and learning and growth. By focusing on key performance indicators, KPIs, in each of these four areas, executives get a truly comprehensive, multidimensional view of overall organizational performance, not just the financials.
A holistic view.
Yeah.
And building on that, there's also business performance management, or BPM, right? Another executive tool.
BPM is often integrated with ESS too. It systematically translates the company's overarching strategy into tangible operational targets. And it also uses KPIs to rigorously measure progress towards those strategic goals.
Okay, so similar to balanced scorecard, but maybe more focused on executing strategy.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A stronger strategic execution viewpoint. ESS also directly tackles that common executive challenge: information overload.
There's so much data.
Exactly. ESS intelligently supplies summarized, high-level information, but crucially, still offers the immediate ability to drill down for more granular detail if needed.
Best of both worlds.
And as technology keeps advancing, ESS seamlessly links data from all sorts of disparate sources, creating a more unified view. Plus, with that ongoing trend towards flatter organizations we mentioned, ESS is increasingly being used at lower management levels too. It allows a wider range of managers to access broader information and monitor performance across wider activities. The ultimate bottom line, though: ESS meets the unique, high-level needs of corporate executives, providing vast amounts of critical information quickly, graphically, intuitively. It profoundly aids effective decision-making. And with frameworks like the balanced scorecard, it expands the view to those four absolutely critical dimensions.
So bringing this all together, what does this mean for your career? Especially for you, as Dr. Sam Pack College of Business graduate students, getting ready to enter or advance in the business world.
Yeah, the practical application.
Well, our sources explicitly highlight that the elements, the information we discussed today, they can directly help you secure crucial roles like, say, an entry-level data analyst, performing sophisticated data analysis, reporting for various departments, maybe in healthcare services, which is growing rapidly.
Definitely a high-demand area.
These types of jobs, they're just becoming increasingly popular and absolutely essential as IT continues to shape and really redefine the modern workplace.
Understanding these concepts, it isn't just academic theory. It's truly foundational. It's about navigating and actually excelling in the modern business world, no matter your specific career path. The ability to effectively leverage and maybe even help design information systems for better decision-making. That is a skill that will only grow in demand and value throughout your entire professional life.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. In a world where this high-velocity automated decision-making is becoming more and more prevalent, what responsibility do we as humans hold to continually monitor, refine, and ethically apply these incredibly powerful algorithms?
That's a critical question.
Especially when factors we talked about, like information quality issues, those inherent management filters and biases, complex organizational politics, can so easily derail even the best technological intentions.
Yeah, the human oversight piece is non-negotiable.
Well, thank you for joining us on Where Technology Meets Business: Insights into Managing Information Systems. We genuinely hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights, clarified some key concepts, things that will serve you well in your studies and in your future careers.
Hope it was helpful.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. What real-world decision-making challenge have you seen, maybe in an internship or a previous job, that could have been profoundly improved by better information systems? Share your experiences, your questions in the comments section below. We do read them. And of course, if you found value in this deep dive today, please take a quick moment to like it, subscribe to our channel, follow us on whatever platform you're using, and definitely share it with your peers, your study groups.
Yeah, spread the knowledge.
Your support really helps us continue to bring these kinds of in-depth explorations to you. So until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep making smarter decisions.